Welcome to the Learn Cryptos podcast. My name is Mikal Mekki, here with my good friends, Coach Charles and Omar, the seasoned vet. And look, today's topic, we're excited. We're going to be sharing something, and we're going to be talking about what's going on with cryptocurrency and the banking industry. As a matter of fact, we got an article about what Morgan Stanley thinks about all this. Well, what do y'all think about it?
Yeah, man, I definitely, I think we're in the, this is Coach, Crypto Coach, by the way, Coach Charles. I definitely think it is, cryptos are ready to go. They are on fire, and we're now seeing the government get on board. What you think, Omar?
Look at here, man. Those crooks. they want to make sure that they stay in the mix and that we don't get too far away from them.
See, okay, well, with that, I guess we're just going to jump right into it. So, welcome officially to the Learn Cryptos podcast, our first and possibly last episode.
The Learn Cryptos podcast is here to educate anyone and everyone, from beginners to experts. Our motto is cryptocurrency for everyone. Crypto coaches Charles, Omar, and Mikal bring years of experience in the blockchain technology to your ears. They discuss a variety of topics, from beginner terminology to advanced trading tactics. And now, the Learn Cryptos podcast.
But check this out, and here's what they're talking about. And we knew this was going to happen, right? Morgan Stanley, and this is coming straight from CoinDesk. Morgan Stanley sees crypto banking regulation arriving faster than expected, and the bank analysts say it's a positive sign for crypto banks, Silvergate and Signature. Now, you know, I can tell you, you know, how my feelings, but this is not about my feelings or your feelings. This is just about us talking about what's going on in crypto, because really we want to hear from you, the viewer, when you leave your comments and what you guys say on these different platforms. That's what's most important to us. We're just putting out the thoughts and ideas that are out there. You tell us what you really think and give us your feedback. But what they're talking about here is something very interesting, because right now, as we know, you can't put your crypto in any bank. And so it's very difficult. You got to keep it in an exchange or in a wallet. And then when you want to use it, you got to go through all of these hoops and things to get it into a bank to then be able to use it. And so they're really trying to get in on it. I kind of feel like they're also saying, hey, there's way too much money in crypto that's not in banks anymore. Savings accounts are dwindling, right? Checking accounts are dwindling, because people are saying, well, why do I need your savings account with like a 0.25% interest a year when I can keep my money in crypto? I could stake it, I could do this, and I can have so much utilization out of it. And now it's there whenever I need it, and I'm getting more in terms of interest or whatnot. But what do you guys think about that?
Well, you know, the old school saying, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. They know that they can't beat it. They know that they can't stop it. So they got to join it. And what really gave me evidence of that is when I watched the interview with Janet Yellen, and Janet Yellen basically said, we got to take it serious because American investors are investing into crypto. And so when you're starting to see government officials like that at that level starting to be pro Bitcoin and pro crypto, you know, they've came around to, hey, we can't beat them, so we got to join them and we got to try to keep up, because if not, that financial system is going to do better than our current one, and then we won't really have anything that we can do because it'll be too far gone.
I mean, you know, just to add to that, I mean, of course, they're forced by the consumer. I mean, it's a good move on their behalf, on the banking industry's behalf. But we know with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I mean, I was looking at some stats the other day, you know, between 18 and 25, and then 25 and I think about 34. I mean, you in that age bracket, 40% of the folks in those age brackets, you know, have some understanding and trust crypto. Okay. And so for the banking industry, it just begins to be a smart business, which they always, you know, seek to do. And this is the future, for them, because it's the future is where the consumers are. It's what the consumers are gravitating towards. And I think actually what's going to help with this, it's actually going to help with the mass adoption and the mass, that's probably the best word, the mass adoption to the everyday person, to be a little less fearful of crypto, if you will. If they can store it at their bank that's down the street. I mean, it just begins to make the process a little bit easier, as we go forward with this mass adoption of crypto and Web3 and all those different things.
No, you're hitting on it, and you said something, and I know, Charles, you said in the very beginning, can't beat them, join them. I mean, you think about it. Matter of fact, you go back to January 28th of this year, and there was a report that came out. CNBC, as a matter of fact, put this out there. They said $2.5 billion in the first quarter was spent on crypto-linked banking cards. Matter of fact, Visa said in a recent earnings call, and I'm reading this actually straight from CNBC, customers made $2.5 billion in payments with its crypto-linked cards in its first fiscal quarter of 2022, right? The first fiscal quarter, $2.5 billion. This is Visa saying this. People are using their crypto-linked cards to spend in a variety of ways of retail, goods and services, restaurant, and travel. Visa's CFO, Cant, told CNBC in a phone interview. He also said Visa has started a crypto consulting service and invested in crypto's platform as a part of a push for a digital currency adoption. Look, we remember, our parents remember, I know we don't, when people didn't have credit cards. And then everybody had a MasterCard, American Express. Don't leave home without it. I know I'm showing my age when I say that, right? But we remember when our parents didn't have that. And then they were like, oh, no, we keep our money in base. Well, if you have this credit card, you can use it. And you can spend debt. And you can spend all of my inheritance on stuff that you can't buy because you got credit card debt. But that's neither here nor there because then they filed for bankruptcy. But anyway, we remember when that happened, right? And then now we have this adoption happening where now the credit card companies are saying, whoa. People don't even really messing with us like that no more. They're making money in crypto, and they're making so much money in crypto. They just want to be able to spend their crypto. So now Visa said, well, can we partner with you guys so we can do what you guys are doing, and they can spend their crypto through us so we can collect some of those fees that we're not getting anymore? Because $2.5 billion in purchases, and you minus credit card fees because you're not using credit cards, that billions of dollars of credit card companies are losing. So it makes sense for the banks and the credit cards to want to get involved. So this is crazy stuff.
Well, let me throw this little part now. Just so y'all know, I'm a Bitcoin maxi, right? So, I say a Bitcoin maximalist, but there's all coins that I like too. But I'm a decentralization maximalist, right?
Sure.
So the thing that I want everybody to understand is, the banks are coming in now saying, hey, we can hold your crypto. We can have custodial fiduciary responsibility over your crypto. But here's the problem. I'm going to put it like Bitcoin Zay, no keys, no cheese. When you don't hold your private keys, it's just like you putting your hard-earned dollars in the bank. If that bank shuts down, guess what? Your money's gone. Same thing with crypto. So these banks understand if they're holding your crypto, they're making money with your crypto. Don't get it twisted. They're not just saying, hey, we are so honored that you're our customer that we want to safeguard your crypto for you. No, they're doing that because they can take that same crypto and go stake it in platforms and earn the yield that you would earn. Don't get it twisted. That's why banks are now wanting to be custodial, have custodial fiduciary responsibility to house your crypto because they're going to make money off of it the same way they do with your US dollars.
Well, yeah, I mean, Charles, you're hitting on the point. I mean, of course, we know if they're involved, we're already with fiat. We're in the fractional banking system.
That's right.
Where they're able to take $1, okay, and use that as $10. That's why they don't even care if we really save money or not, because they don't even want they don't want all our money in savings. They want, of course, they make money from debt. They don't need a lot of savings because they're already, with the fractional banking piece, they're already taking 10 times. So of course, the business that they're in, they're going to seek to do the same thing with crypto. You know,
Right.
we know that they're in the business of holding, but more importantly, they're in the business of making money and putting people in debt. You know, and so that's going to be key as well. I remember one of the first conversations we had in the very beginning. I was sharing with you a system that is not decentralized because, again, we know they're going to be out there. Some are in the mix. They're in between being centralized and decentralized. They're walking on a fine line. And it was an entity that I could get an instant loan from. And you were like, man, hey, I never leverage, my crypto. And so all of these things, I mean, as we begin to develop here, that's why it's going to be so important for people to learn the foundational things in crypto that they haven't learned already with the banking system. And so actually it's going to give most people a new chance, with this new economy, this new currency, this new asset. It's going to give most folks a new opportunity to be at the beginning of this and really be fruitful, because I mean, we know the average American, the average person around the world has not taken advantage of the banking system. It does not work, for the average man or woman. And we got to make sure that doesn't happen here in the crypto space because it can too.
That's right. No, and not only I 100% agree with that, but I want to make sure that everybody understands when I got into crypto, back in 2016, the thing that attracted me was this statement, BYOB. Now, a lot of us old school know that was the house party where they wouldn't provide liquor. So it stood for bring your own bottle. But
what?
no,
That's the only thing it
right.
stands for, man.
No, it's be your own bank. Be your own bank.
Yeah, you was
right?
raised on the wrong side of town, brother.
Yeah, so that's what attracted me.
We're gonna take that bottle.
Yeah,
we're gonna take the bottle and take your bank. No, I'm saying.
Yeah, but BYOB, be your own bank. So, I think it's cool because it's going to help to get mass adoption. A lot of people are scared of crypto because they're so intimidated by it that they would rather let a bank hold their crypto, right? But my thing is that's a great way to onboard, right? And so if it takes the bank saying, okay, hey, yeah, we'll house your crypto, hold it for you, we'll give you access to a card to be able to spend it. If that's what it takes for mass adoption, I'm all for it, right? Because those of us that are getting in now and have been in for a while, we're waiting on everybody else. And when they come in, guess what happens to the values of the cryptos that we currently hold? They're going to go up because more people are going to buy them and get involved because now they can do it directly through their financial institution. So I'm for it. Just keep that in mind. Be your own bank as soon as you can.
Right. And just know that what I really try to tell people is just follow the dollar, because and this is what we talk about in Learn Cryptos. That's why you see it scrolling at the bottom. This is what we talk about there on our platform, really helping people understand cryptocurrency. But really just follow the dollar, because understand that and I don't know, maybe this is the hood in me, right? But I learned in the hood, right? If you want to survive and be safe, if you hear something loud, don't look towards the noise, right? Look, because that's the distraction. You need to be looking for what else is going on. Don't just run where everybody's running. And here's the problem with cryptocurrency. So they say, boo, cryptocurrency wasn't being talked about in the mainstream news media, right? Nobody was talking about it. Nobody thought about it. Nobody talked about it. And people were making millions and millions and millions of dollars. We all have personal friends that have, I know Omar and I got a personal friend that's made hundreds of millions of dollars, right? While there was no media coverage. Now all of a sudden it's kind of creeping up, and more people are getting involved. And now there's jokes on nighttime television. I was watching something the other day. They said if you even mention Bitcoin, we're gonna mute your mic. And there is a joke. Don't be the guy at a dinner party that mentions Bitcoin, right? They're joking about it. Well, who funds these shows? These big corporations. And you know why they're not wanting you to understand cryptocurrency? Unfortunately, because they're trying to buy it all up. Because if they buy it all up, then you got to buy it through them. Now they control it.
Well,
That's where this gets tricky. So my thing is, we've got to understand this stuff. And if we see the banks flocking to it and all these other people flocking to it, I think it's just prudent for us to get as much as we can as well and know as much as we can.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
let
I
me
was just
say
gonna say it's advantageous to be an early adopter. That's all I was gonna say.
exactly. Well, if you think about it like this, how many people, rough estimate on the planet, right? 6 point something billion. Well, there's only going to ever be 21 million Bitcoin mined. That's it. So even if you just did the simple math, not everybody can own a Bitcoin. So what these banks and these corporations are doing is they are trying to suppress as much of the chatter about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies while they're in the background buying as much of it as possible. Because here's the thing, y'all, for us that are getting in now, the reason why I tell people that this is a chance for generational wealth, because Bitcoin is going to be so sought after that it's going to get to a point, if you own enough Bitcoin in the future, you will never, ever, ever have to work to make a living a day in your life, because your Bitcoin will be so valuable that it will work for you. I don't know about y'all. Bitcoin is my retirement plan,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
And the reason the banks don't want you to get your hands on it is because they know that when Bitcoin is $2, $3, $4, $500,000 a token, that is enough money for you to live on the rest of your life just by putting your Bitcoin in the right place and earning interest on it. Period. Point blank.
So listen, I mean, you're hitting on some things that are so key. So we got to see how this is all playing together. Now, this is a total, different arena, but this same thing is happening right now in real estate across the country, where you have large corporations investing heavily in real estate and taking these entrepreneurial opportunities away from the everyday investor, the everyday person. But what they're also doing is looking to make a society of renters, and that are no longer, trying to knock, us out of owning it, and them and major corporations on it. So they're doing these same things on a lot of levels, attempting to do the same thing now in the cryptocurrency arena. And so that's why, this stuff is nothing to play with. It's so vital if you want to be able to have some freedom and ownership for yourself and your family in the future. And I mean, it's a fight right now, to get that education and then to do something about it. To link arms with other folks and to make some things happen about it, because if not, I mean, these major corporations will just they're looking to own some of everything. You know what I mean, which includes the banks and other entities as well.
No, and I like how you tie that together, because I think it's important that we add relevant and incredible analogies when it comes to crypto, because it's hard for people to think only in crypto. But just what you said about the housing industry, we've seen how the games are played, right? They tell us it's the housing industry is booming and there's low interest rates. Everybody get in. And then what did everybody do in 2007? They got in because no money, no docs, loans, no money down. You buying these houses with a $5,000 that you can barely afford closing costs, and now you got an $800,000 house, and you're paying $2 a month because you got this low interest rate on the back end. And then what happened? They swallowed up all of everybody's money that they used to get into these houses, and then they just collapsed. And then the banks had a fire sale on houses, and instead of buying a house, you can get 20 houses for $100,000 because they sold it in a portfolio. And the same thing is happening in San Francisco right now. There's 40,000 vacant homes. The vacant homes. When I mean vacant, I mean these are homes that are owned by what you just mentioned, the big banks and corporations. 40,000 vacant homes in San Francisco right now. They've been purchased recently. Nobody's living in them, and people are like, well, who's buying them? The corporations. Why? Because they're doing a massive grab of the real estate. Why? Because what do people need? Food, clothing, and shelter. Well, hey, if we got all the food and we already know, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, you can do the research for yourself. Bill Gates and a bunch of these conglomerates own a huge, massive quantity of farmland in the United States and around the world. So they're going to control where your food comes from. So we take the food away from you. The clothing, well, hey, you got to go see Uncle Jeff Bezos if you want some clothes delivered to your house. So we got that. And then your shelter. Banks are literally buying homes sight unseen, paying cash up front the minute it goes on sale, and nobody's ever moving into them. Why? Because they want to create a society of renters. Because now, so if we own all the Bitcoin, like Charles just said, now if you want to even a little taste, and then we make things that you can only buy with Bitcoin, and we make certain clubs or certain places in life that you can go to and you can only enter with Bitcoin, then you got to sell your soul to get a little of this Bitcoin, or you don't get any of the action. Now, is that the society we're going to? That's a dystopian type of idea, but I love dystopian films, so I have issues. But that could be it. And if we don't have a knowledge of this stuff, we could be shut out.
That's right. Well, that's what we do at learncryptos.com. So when we teach about how to get into crypto, and we teach about how to position yourselves to take advantage of this wealth transfer, because we can all see it. The monetary system is definitely changing right in front of our faces, right? And we see what's happening with the dollar, right? It's I was reading some information just about inflation and fiat currencies throughout history, and basically your fiat currency loses about 2% on average each year of its buying power. Well, if we go back to when we were taking off the gold standard in 1971, fast forward to today, we're right around that 50-year period. And here's what's crazy about that. For every dollar that you spend today, it only has 2 cents of actual buying power.
Wow. That's a shame.
2 cents. And all you got to just go back and do the math. Go back to 1971. Look at the price of a car, a house, food, gas, and look at how much of those same dollars it takes to buy that same thing back then.
Right.
Okay. So it's just a matter of time before that value hits zero. And guess what? Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are going to be that new monetary value that we're going to use to transact and exchange, right? So with that being said, real quick, you all, can I get into the markets really quickly?
By all means, take us there, brother. Take us there.
All right. So right now, everybody, cryptos are looking really, really good. Market is up over 2 trillion. We're back over 2 trillion. Total market capitalization. Bitcoin right now is at $47,475. So we're looking good. We were kind of stuck in that kind of 40 to 42 range, and we were stuck there for a couple weeks. The resistance level that we had to break was between 45 and 46,000, and now we have broken that. And I feel like we should be heading into the 50s, around 52, 53, before we actually run into some resistance from there. Overall, the dominance of Bitcoin is at 40%. ETH is back up over 18% dominance.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, ETH is not only is it back at 18%, I really think that the altcoins are getting ready to heat up quite nice. So be on the lookout for altcoin season to really, really get cranked back up. The other thing is, and this is what I pay attention, the fear and greed index, fellas, is back over 50%. We're at 52 on the fear and greed index.
Right,
so that is going to give you all the market sentiment you need to know. People are getting bullish again. And that when we have that bullish sentiment, that's when we can look for Bitcoin to head back to all-time highs. So just wanted to give a little bit of information about where the markets are at today. Looking good. I think by the end of the week, We could possibly be back into the 50,000 range.
Come on
and,
now.
Back over 52, fellas. We headed back to all-time highs.
We need some Rick James type action. We need some bust it out.
Oh my goodness.
We need this to bust out.
But you know what's funny? That with all of this news, it's amazing because it doesn't mean anything if you're not really in the game. And I know the mistakes that many of us made in the past. I mean, we all came up in the .com industry and we were like, man, look at what them stocks are doing. Woo-wee! And didn't have none. You know, it was like, I mean, I lived in Silicon Valley. I watched it happen and never said, you know, I should actually put some money in Apple. I bought the products, just didn't buy the stock. You know what I mean? So I love
if I can mess with you on that, I mean, it goes to what you said earlier. I mean, what we were talking about earlier today, man, where it's a numbers game. Everybody's talking, but only 10% of the population owns 90% of the stocks. So even during this social media time, with all this talk, all these numbers, all this everything, the numbers really tell us people ain't really investing.
No, they're not. They're not. And what we'll do, we're going to wrap this podcast up, but what we'll do is make sure to put a link in the comment section. And if not, just go to learncryptos.com because we actually have a couple of courses on there, how to, buy your first coin, how to set up your wallet, how to do this, because we know sometimes it's just the little basics that people don't know. And the way we teach is we teach it. If my 71-year-old mother can understand it and my 4-year-old granddaughter can understand it, then that's good. Now, my 4-year-old doesn't understand it, so we haven't gotten that good at teaching 4-year-olds yet. But we've gotten down to like the 9-year-old level. So we're doing better. But that's what we do at Learn Crypto. So we're wrapping up. Any final closing comments from y'all?
I mean, I would just encourage people not to be motivated by fear, right? But be motivated by a willingness to grab your freedom, and see getting your finances in order and understanding what's going on here as a way for your freedom. Because that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Whatever, if we were talking about something else, if we weren't talking about cryptocurrency, if we created some other way right now, at the end of the day, it's about, having those resources in your hand to make exchanges that you want to live the life that you want, And so I wouldn't suggest that you move out of fear, but I would suggest that you move with a sense of urgency. Because this thing is moving fast. And as my partner's been talking about all day, these institutions are getting involved and this stuff is happening. And you don't want to be, sitting back and, wishing you had gotten involved again. So don't move out of fear, but get your tail moving, get some sense of urgency to learn about what's going on here in the crypto space so you can create that freedom for yourself and your family, man. That's what it's about.
Well, and I would say just last closing thought is get to the other side of money. Okay. And the other side of money is where your money works for you. You don't work for your money. And that's the opportunity you have when you learn about cryptos and you get into the game and make your cryptos make your money where you don't have to work anymore. That's the other side of money that you want to get to.
I love it. Well, hey, we're excited. We look forward to y'all joining us next time on our Learn Cryptos podcast.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
my two crypto brothers with me today, Omar Charles, and for myself, Mikal Mekki. We out. We're going to talk to y'all soon. Peace and blessings.
All right.